Welcome to the emergency room, where, let me Google that for you, is the actual medical diagnosis. You've seen what happened, so let's talk about it. What's up, everybody? This is Dougie. Dougie Superfly, Dougie Fresh, Dougie Everything Awesome, I guess. Oh man, it's been a while. It's been a hot minute since I've been on here. A lot of things have happened. Some good, some bad, some in between. And so let's talk about it. As you see by the thumbnail, I ended up in a hospital emergency room for a hot minute. But see, back in December, they put me on a different blood pressure medicine. And for whatever reason, that did not go over with my body at all. Like, I would have a lot of tightness in my chest, more so than normal just from being fat, you know. And that was troublesome, because whenever you're my size, you're always thinking the worst with your health. Because you really never know. You really never know, you know. And I told my doctor about it, and then she put me back on my old blood pressure medicine. And things seemed to even out. Everything was good and everything. And so, let's see, probably February, I had a good enough handle on everything to go and get a gym membership. And whenever I did that, everything, like, I went full bore with, like, my movement and everything like that. And everything was okay. And I started having, like, heart palpitations. Like, really, like, I could be laying on the couch and I can feel my heart beating in my back. And I'd be just doing something basic, and, like, my heart would just start beating really, really hard. And it's scary, but they always, you know, after a couple minutes, they calmed down and everything was fine. They've been progressively getting a little worse, I guess. Not necessarily worse, but you start thinking about it and they become worrisome every time it happens. And you know, this is June now, you know. So I remember back when I lost a bunch of my weight beforehand, like, I never had this issue. So, you know, I hated having that feeling. I hated how I was feeling. But man, so I was telling my friend about it, and she's like, dude, you just need to go to the emergency room and get checked out, just for the sake of it. So I was like, okay, because if she tells me to do something, you know, she won't tell me something just to hear her head ringing, you know what I mean? So I get up and I get dressed and I go to the local emergency room. And I go in there, you know, I'm out of breath. Of course, they think the worst. And to be honest, I kind of do too. So I sit down and I wait to be seen. And I tell them what's going on. And they rush me back and they hook me up to all the little EKG things and stuff like that. And originally they say hey, your blood pressure is like 127 over 70 or 127 over 80, something like that. Something good, you know. I was like, well, that's awesome. And they say my blood saturation's at 99, sometimes 100%. I'm like, that's good too. And so we get done with all that stuff and get back to an actual room. And they start doing all these blood tests and everything. And it comes back that a certain enzyme from my blood work shows that I have a blood clot somewhere. It's elevated. Some enzyme is elevated or something like that. So we they say that I'm going to need like a CT scan or like an ultra scan or something like that. I'm like, okay. So I start freaking out because they're telling me that it shows that I have a blood clot. So I'm just like, okay, let's go see what we have to do here to get it fixed. Cause my friend, she lost her husband to a blood clot, and my mom, she's known to have blood clots like in her lungs and stuff. And so I know how scary they can be. And they rolled me into the CT scan room or whatever. It's this big donut. They call it the donut. I don't know if they were trying to make a fat joke or whatever, but to be honest, I'm surprised that I was able to fit in the machine. Because like you lay on this table, and the table, they tell you to put your arms up, and the table goes like in this little tube or whatever, and it does its thing. It's the closest thing to a roller coaster I've been on in probably 10 years. But yeah, so we get all the scans done, and they say they cannot find any, anything for like the presence of a blood clot in my chest and my lungs, or anywhere that they've scanned. They did not see a blood clot. And they did like 2 or 3 more blood tests, rounds of blood tests for like the cardiac enzymes and stuff like that. And they said apparently that my levels for that particular enzyme are high regardless. So that was rather comforting. Then the doctor came in and we started talking about it. And she said my lungs are clear. They look really good. And she said my heart is clear and looks really, really good. No signs of disease or anything like that. Which, man, that's freaking awesome. Because, I have abused my body for years. It's a blessing that I'm even still here, to be honest, And so we start talking. I'm like, well, what's making my heart do this? And she says it's something called cardiac. I think it's like deconditioning, where whenever I lived such a sedentary life for so long that getting up and moving around is stressful, which, to be honest, it really is. And like, I need to be very careful with my physical activity, like be real slow going back into physical activity, and not go like hardcore with everything, like I kind of like to. And she also said, getting like a couple hours of sleep, just getting a couple hours of sleep a night, isn't really helping the situation, nor is being stressed out about stuff all the time really helping the situation either. And all of which, it's hard not to be stressed whenever you got all the stuff on you that we all do nowadays. So she recommended me some stress management, and eventually like a sleep study whenever I'm able to. But yeah, that's my whole gist of going to the emergency room. I was lit out later that day, and I remember going home and just sleeping the rest of the day. That whole experience kind of wore me out. Like, my arm is like one big huge bruise. I let some of the students there do like all the blood work and everything, which they did a really good job. I want to say that please be respectful to all the healthcare professionals out there. Their whole job and their whole desire is to make you feel better. Like, nobody likes to feel terrible. They like to, make you feel better so you can go out and live a productive, day, week, year, life, all that good stuff. You go into some of these emergency rooms and they're yelled at, they're spit on, they're cussed at. That's no way to be to anybody, much less these people trying to help you out. You know what I mean? But I think that's all for today. I have several videos coming up. I've got a whole book full here. But anyway, I hope everybody has a good day. Father's Day is coming up. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there, and to all the mothers who have to be dads to their kids as well. But yeah, don't let the hard days win either. It's hard not to, but try to just stay motivated in times that are challenging like these, because ultimately you have a life to live, and you're not going to do that whenever you're always thinking negative. Anyway, hope everybody has a good day, and I look forward to seeing you here again in a couple days, actually. So have a good one, everybody.